The next day, I saw her password and snooped it. There was hundreds of thousands of texts right there. Countless nudes, calling him daddy, degrading comments. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I had the revenge story for you, titled, I Crushed My Ex-Wife's Hopes After She Cheated on Me. And big shout out to Joseph for sending me this story. And guys, what we have here is definitely probably one of the top 10 revenge stories I've covered since I started not only this channel here about a year ago, but also my other channel, Strong Successful Male, 2.5 years ago. Definitely right up there. This is all about a guy who is married, and like a lot of these things go, he got married too young, and after a while, the dynamics between he and his wife started to change, and one day, he definitely, after a lot of suspicious activity, without a shadow of a doubt, saw things were going on, and that she was cheating. And eventually, yeah, you're going to see that she comes clean, divorces him, and makes his life an absolute living hell. She is awful to him. However, you're going to see that this guy, he takes it, he deals with it as best he can and moves on. But eventually, an opportunity will present himself to get even with her. And let me tell you, he does. To the point that some of you may say he went too far. But we shall see at the end of this story. Now, I don't want to reveal too much, which I have a habit of doing, so I'll try to behave myself in that area there. But you're going to see here in this story, guys, definitely he gets even with her. And quite frankly, in my opinion, she has it coming. So, getting into it, he says here, a bit of a background. I'm a 36-year-old male as of now. The characters have been a bit altered by their names. Rebecca, my ex-wife, who's now 34. James, my college buddy and the guy Rebecca cheated on me with. And Saladin, my guy friend. And Lisa, Saladin's cousin. So Rebecca and I were what you call college sweethearts. We survived college and the hardships of life. We got married in our early 20s. I was 25 and she was 23. Smack. Too early. Ever since we got married, things were rocky. Not from the start, but situation-wise. I was in medical while she was an accounting major. There were things that were okay with me, but not with her. Despite being married, she acted like she was a free bird. She was. It's a good thing, but there was marital neglect from her side. A free bird, huh? We know what that means. Free bird, free spirit. That means carousel rider. Not a good thing. Guess you shouldn't have rushed to marry her at that early age, huh? And also probably wasn't laying down the law like he should. In 2016, she joins James' company as an accountant because it pays very well. I was happy because he's a buddy of mine. Let's remember that part. James is a buddy of his. Slowly, she started to complain about things that were in place. She didn't like where we lived, had problems with everything I did. She did not like the food she's used to. He says I'm a great cook and she loved my foods. Our fights intensified by a margin where she would call me names. I'm good for nothing, she earned more than me, and a drastic turn from where she earned more than me. Okay, he didn't put a period at the end of the sentence. So in other words, guys, a lot of freaking drama. And notice here he mentions she started making more money than him. That's a problem. A lot of people say in today's world where everything's equal, it should be a problem. Well, a lot of times in these stories, once the woman starts earning more than the guy, that's when the dynamic really changes. And right here, you're going to see. So a lot of shit's going on. This is not a pretty picture. Great idea getting married, huh? He says that there's a drastic turn here where that Rebecca and James were hanging out with our set of mutual friends. I got the word of it and it seemed off. I confronted both of them, to which they both said it was a sudden plan and was in our field. Coincidentally, it happened the same day I was out of the city. They might have planned it beforehand, which I'm not sure of. Yeah, they planned it. And remember, James, her boss, is also this dude's friend. That out of the goodness of his heart, he hired his accounting company or put a good word in for her or something like that, to which she's now making more money than this guy. In 2017, the year my marriage blew up, so I was sure there was something because my bedroom action became effing dead one. I was increasingly paranoid, and whenever I tried to address things, I was turned down. Now, I'm no saint. I constantly yelled at her to tell me what was going on because there was something off. Your favorite person rarely talks or does stuff with you and they claim it's nothing. Does this sound okay? Where there's smoke, there's fire. If there's no bedroom action, there's turmoil and drama, and she's not talking to you, yeah, there's problems. Now, you can understand him yelling and losing his temper. Anybody would do that. We're all human. But that's not going to get him anywhere. And quite frankly, their relationship it's a dead bedroom. They're fighting in this drama. Why is he in this marriage? There's no point. There's no kids in the picture, so why the hell stick around? Either she's going to get her act together or move on. That's what he should have done. It was also the year that we were at our peak financially because our debts were paid off. My friends and I decided to open up a medical shop that provided medicine shop as a side venture. So one of the friends was Saladin. He proposed that we celebrate it at a pub. When we got there, I noticed a girl that looks a lot like Rebecca. She was dancing with another man, and it was quite dark. I got a closer look. Lo and behold, it was Rebecca and James dancing hand to hand. Imagine that. No one ever saw that coming. And remember, this James dude was his buddy. Right there. Get your phone out. Take pictures. Walk over. Say, see ya. We're done. Don't come home. Because, it's a lot more than dancing. We can obviously tell. Remember, if the bedroom is dead, she's getting someplace else. And you know it. He says here, she was dancing with another man, and it was quite dark. I go in to get a closer look, and lo and behold, it's Rebecca and James dancing hand in hand. I wasn't much bothered about it because, hey, they're friends. Smack. Dude, how blind can you be? I was here with my colleagues, and she was there with hers. But it was bothering me. I decided to send her a text asking her where she was. She's usually on her way home at this point in time. She told me she was already at home. Now that was a real red flag. I told her to stop lying because she wasn't. I could clearly see that she was getting paranoid and told me she was on her way. She left the pub afterwards. I get he wanted to text her and catch her in a lie and everything, but she's right there. I mean, I would just confronted her right then and there. Plus, you'd have witnesses, and that way, if you confront her later on in private, she can't make up a whole bunch of awful things, which, wait for it's going to happen. That night, I asked her about James. The look she gave me was as if she'd seen a ghost, because she was not expecting that question. That look was what she told me something was definitely up. If you ask your significant other about a friend, they should act normally, but the way she acted was abnormal. That night itself, I snooped on her phone. Curiosity was killing me. The password was changed, so I couldn't see the phone. The next day, I saw her password and snooped. There were hundreds of thousands of texts right there. Countless nudes, calling him daddy, degrading comments. There you go. And exactly why there was the dead bedroom, all the drama, or all the turmoil, which especially started after she got that job with that dude. It's not rocket science. But when it's obviously someone that you love and all that, although I can't imagine loving her, you hope it's not what you think it is. But those red flags are pretty on the money. So my wife and I made a vow to each other that if there's ever anything we need to explore, we would be transparent to each other. She broke that vow too. She confided about him how much of the thrill she felt that night at the pub. I went through everything. What hurt the most was that she herself told me if one of us ever got bored of the other or needed to spice things up, we'd let each other know. She destroyed everything. I couldn't look at her the way I used to anymore. I cried the night and confronted her stupidly without any evidence the next morning. Bad idea. He should have taken the pictures of all those things, put it on his phone. That way he had proof. She yelled at me and stormed out after telling me I was abusive and insane. Shocker. Gaslighting. She told all her friends that I was abusive. That afternoon, they had the call create a messenger group where everyone ganged up on me to troll me. When she came home that night, she told me she was in love with James and wants a divorce. I told her to talk first, but it turned into her berating me. I yelled at her and she called the cops. I was asked to spend the night elsewhere. I went to my sister's, and when I returned the next morning, James's car was there. He spent the night there. There was nothing needed to explain. He was doing it on purpose. Hell, she was doing it on purpose. This is terrible. And again, the whole believe all women thing, of course all the friends are going to believe that he's abusive, because why not? Because she's such a sweet, perfect angel. This guy didn't do anything wrong. Now, yeah, he said he was yelling at her when things weren't not good, and he said he's no saint, but still, this is a man's life, and this could affect everything in his life. She doesn't care. And she's doing that guy in his house. Now, I want you to remember this, guys, as we get into the revenge part of the story later on, in case any of you guys may feel bad for her later on. So keep this, what's going on here, fresh in your mind, because it doesn't stop. He says, I went to see a lawyer. As we did not have a prenup, she already filed a complaint about me being abusive, and it didn't look good for me. Not once did she try to apologize. Not once did she try to make amends. Our country law doesn't count infidelity as a fault. So even with that, she's entitled to half of my everything. But her complaint can sue me up. A few days after that, where I was living with my sister, he says, I tried contacting Rebecca, but she wouldn't reply to me. Rebecca hit me up telling me that we should get divorced. That's it. 12 years of relationship, 4 years of marriage, and she ends it with a text. I was effing convinced that James was taking my place. She handed me the divorce papers. Everyone from our friend circle was convinced that I was an effing abuser and James was her savior. Well, all those friends that were taking her side, I'd have nothing to do with them ever again. Even if his name is cleared in time. Nope, we're done. Don't ever talk to me again. But this is terrible. After all his shit, she's getting half. And his name gets dragged through the mud. She did the right thing to cheat. It says here, she did the right thing to cheat on me. We were officially divorced during the start of 2018. She was already dating James open during our divorce. He was her life. I lost my job, my house, my reputation, and her little affair. I had to change the city to move someplace else to restart again. Well, you're going to see, as awful as this is, at least he's done with her in his mid-30s. And remember, a man can start over, can start fresh, and rebuild if he doesn't let himself be crushed. Because the best success is revenge. And amongst many other things. He says here, Saladin helped me massively in the fresh start. He got me a decent paying job that was nowhere like my previous one, but it was better than the rest. We became close buddies while I was working to earn back what I had lost. Dating life was over for me. I just couldn't trust anyone. I was complete no contact between me and Rebecca. Last I heard, she moved in with James. They were doing great. Now, we'll move on to the revenge part. He says, at the end of 2020, my life was actually blowing up. COVID helped our cause with broken backs, but filled our pockets. Our pharmacy venture turned huge, so I was able to make much more money. I met a friend of mine from whom I got a tip that James and Rebecca were done. James had cheated on her and left her. Imagine that. Chad Tyrone that she was cheating with kicked her to the curb. But it gets better. But Rebecca had a child with James. He was absent since birth, so he did not sign the birth certificate. So Rebecca is raising that child as a single parent. She tried dating, but she was not over me or James. The audacity. There's some karma for you. He kicked her to the curb, didn't sign the birth certificate, so she's stuck raising that kid. Part of me was happy with it, but gosh, I really missed her. Smack. I sent her an email asking how she was doing. She wasn't expecting to hear from me. We exchanged emails and reconnected. Our first meeting was in 2021 after several years. She looked like shit. Not surprised. She gained weight, lost the charm, and looked utterly exhausted all the time. Frankly, just her look made my blood boil and triggered me, but I also wanted to take my revenge on her. So he's reconnecting with her, guys, to get his revenge. That's why he reconnected. Life had already done that on my part, but I'm an a-hole. I wasn't done with her. She told me about James and reopened the early wounds. I got my closure, which made me feel a bit better, I guess. She said she was sorry. She wasn't thinking straight what she was doing, and James had poisoned her mind against me. What a load of crap. She wasn't thinking straight. She wasn't thinking straight the entire time she was sending those hundreds or thousands of texts with nudes and all those other things, cheating on him. She wasn't thinking straight, and James had poisoned her mind. It's not my fault. James did it. Oh, okay. The old joke about accountability. It says here, I got my closure, which made me feel a bit better, I guess. She said she was sorry. She says, I told her that I will forgive her if she comes clean to everyone and clears my name out. She did that, losing a lot of friends, but she deserved that. My name was clean. She wanted us to date again. Her words making me raise the a-hole James's child. I told her I would agree to it, but we need to date and marry first. Only then will I legally adopt her child. The little guy's adorable, and I had taken a liking to him. This obviously is bullshit, guys. This is his revenge plan here, but she actually thinks that he's going to give her a second chance after all that and raise this guy's child. But again, remember, when women have a certain perception of you, it's very hard to change it. She thinks that this guy will just take her back even after everything she did. That's her mindset. That's what she thinks of this guy. Here's the truth. I was already seeing someone else. Pretty safe to say I was cheating on the woman with Rebecca. She was a client of mine from a different country. We were both in long-distance relationship. Well, that ain't cool, dude. Cheating ain't cool. I get this guy's done with women and all, but seriously, because if this gal he's with long distance is good to him, But okay, it's his life. We were in a long-distance relationship. Rebecca and I were living in different cities, so I never moved in with her. But I played it well by saying I need to travel for business. So I was only getting Rebecca's hopes up to crush her like she crushed me. We were getting intimate, but condoms were used. Rebecca felt she found love again. I pushed her to therapy to get her to be normal again. Everyone was commenting how she was getting much more happy with me. She would praise and then say sorry. Do little things for me that she had used to do when she was married to me. He says, trust me when I say I had a lot of emotions attached to this woman. I consider my revenge if it was a good thing to break her heart. She might be traumatized for a lifetime, but she did not think of my heart when we were married. Why should I think of hers? Now, again, one can say, and in my opinion, life has punished her enough, right? And simply this guy should move on, but I'm older. I'm in my mid-40s. I'm at a point that I've lived long enough and realized no need for drama. But this guy, he needed to get his revenge, and you'll see here. Her birthday was coming up last October. Lockdown was eased up, and my someone, it's Lisa, was in my city. For the birthday girl, I grabbed Rebecca for ring shopping. She picked out her favorite ring that I got, and I got it wrapped. She was elated because of that. That night, she came up to me crying that she was sorry for hurting me. She looked genuinely remorseful, but I had no feelings for her except indifference. Lisa was Saladin's cousin. I already told her everything beforehand. She was against my revenge idea, but I managed to convince her otherwise. She was uncomfortable with it, but understood I needed to go through it. So this dude took his cheating, awful ex, who just destroyed his name, his life, out ring shopping to think they hold that officially proposed to her. Revenge is a dish best served cold. On Rebecca's birthday, I drove her out to our favorite spot when we were married. It's a nature's place. Lisa was already waiting there. I introduced Lisa to Rebecca, and that Lisa was my girlfriend. Rebecca went white and asked me, what does that mean? What is she then? I introduced her to Lisa as Rebecca, my ex-wife and friends with benefits. There and then, I proposed to Lisa with that ring. He proposed to the other girl in front of her. Rebecca went mad and started yelling, to which I replied, how the F can she expect us to work out when she had nuked us? I'm never dating a dirtbag like her again. She asked me again and again if we meant nothing. I told her nope. Sleeping with her was compensation for the pain. I got her to clear out the pain she put me through. Lisa was holding me back. She saw Rebecca was hurting. I told Rebecca that she needs to leave. She told everyone that I cheated and I was an a-hole. This time I took it as pride. Everyone saw the dirtbag that she was. She cheated on me and made me pay a high price for a falsified abuse. Now she wants me to raise her kid and date her? Not happening. The last we connected was in December last year. She wrote me a letter that how much sorry she is because she can't imagine putting me through the pain that she already put me through. She hoped I'd lived a better life. Last I heard, she was completely uninterested in dating, and she looks like shit. As of me, Lisa and I, we stopped dating. There were differences between us. Well, Lisa obviously saw this guy's side to him, saw this guy was definitely full of revenge and a different guy, so she probably didn't want that, which is probably a good thing. If this Lisa character was actually a decent girl. He says, I'd like to add as an edit, people who are saying I'm the worst than my ex. Can you please at least, for the love of God, point out how I'm worse than her? She cheated. I loved her and she effing cheated on me. She cost me my home, my job, my image, my reputation, my friends. I was considered to be an abuser to everyone. I gave her a taste of her own medicine. Yes, by hurting someone else, now am I worse than her? I don't want judgment. This is nuclear revenge, and I'm sharing my revenge stories. I may emotionally scar her, but that's what she did to me. So there you go, guys. I told you it was a top revenge story. The whole thing, roping her back in when she obviously lost her looks, gained a bunch of weight, was a single mom, all that stuff like that. Nobody else wanted her, gave her hope, and then the right moment, crushed her. Some people may say he went too far, but remember all the shit she did to him, put him through, but hey. Now, this could be a BS story. You never know. It is Reddit, but it could be real too. And believe me, I have seen and experienced things in life that you guys, and I'm sure many of you guys have too, that people just wouldn't believe are real. Truth can truly be stranger than fiction. Should have just left her alone and let her just have her own life and be miserable being stuck with that kid, and her lover James took off on her. That would have done enough revenge, in my opinion. But then again, sounds like this guy needed it. Now, hopefully this guy will be able to move on with his life and maybe get all that anger and hate out of his heart, but he sure as hell ain't gonna trust any woman ever again after all that, and no one can blame him. So I'll leave it up to you guys. Did he go too far, or was it warranted? I'd like to hear your opinion on this. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Again, let me know what you think about this. Went too far, or not enough, or just right. And guys, also, if you come across a good story you'd like to share, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time and I'll get to it. And don't forget to include the link to the story. Sometimes you guys forget. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.